Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, after a night of drama and political upset in Iowa, the voters have punctured the pomp and bombast of Donald Trump. Despite drawing huge crowds, Mr. Trump finished second to arch-conservative Ted Cruz. And Hillary Clinton, once thought to be the runaway favourite, only just squeaked home ahead of her Democratic rival Bernie Sanders by the narrowest of margins. Our Washington correspondent Kylie Morris reports.
In the end, it was Hillary Clinton who was made to feel the burn.
What Iowa has begun tonight is a political revolution.
He may have lost, but this feels like a victory speech. The insurgent socialist that no one expected would push Hillary Clinton in the state of Iowa has done exactly that.
There's one precious commodity everyone seeks from Iowa.
Even though he didn't win, does he steal the momentum here?
Well, I have no doubt we have momentum coming out of Iowa tonight. We got to go to the plane.
They go on to next week's vote in New Hampshire, their hand luggage stuffed with momentum, knowing their guy has every chance of winning that state.
Bernie has really valued what young voters and first-time caucus goers like me have to say.
What's clear now is the arguments we filmed between Democrats at one caucus in West Des Moines were happening at 2,000 other locations across Iowa.
47, 48.
This is how a caucus works. Ordinary people arrange themselves into groups supporting different candidates.
And Hillary represents the wealthy elite in this country that give us no say.
Then there's this back and forth between the different camps to win over anyone who's undecided.
It is not time to elect someone to destroy our entire capitalist system. That's exactly what he's looking to do, is to turn us into a Europe.
Think about the Democrat that can beat any one of those Republicans. I think it's Hillary.
The telling result here, enough votes for one delegate each. One for Bernie, one for Hillary.
So as I stand here tonight, breathing a big sigh of relief, thank you, Iowa.
Hillary had a narrow escape that raises real questions over the effectiveness of her campaign.
And we are supporting Donald Trump.
But things were closer than expected for the Republicans, too. They caucus a little differently. Just speeches, no back and forth, and then writing names on ballots.
People have written out their preferences, and those slips of paper are being stacked and counted. Roughly, Marco Rubio, very, very healthy stack. Donald Trump, not quite as many as Marco Rubio.
Statewide, Marco Rubio came third, behind Donald Trump and the overall winner, Ted Cruz.
God bless the great state of Iowa.
Faith plays a major role in voters' choices in Iowa, not so much in other states where Senator Cruz may struggle. But the future looks very bright for Marco Rubio, the youthful senator from Florida, now the establishment candidate to watch.
We are not waiting any longer to take our country back.
He's certainly taking the race back from real estate mogul Donald Trump, whose second place reveals that while the polls have a weakness for him, the people may not.
I think I might come here and buy a farm. I love it, okay? Thank you.
This is an uncomfortable night for Donald Trump. His whole campaign is based on the idea that he is one of life's winners. How does he deal with being a loser?
Trump supporter Sarah Palin told us that for him, second is as good as a win.
You don't consider it really a loss when you look at how well he did with the conditions that he had started with.
Thank you very much.
They're a tough crowd in Iowa. There's no promise New Hampshire will be any kinder.
Well, Kylie joins us live now from Des Moines in Iowa. Kylie, it does look like a very extraordinary night, but tell us more about the Republican who came third, Marco Rubio.
Well, Kathy, they say that in Iowa you get 3 tickets. Basically, 3 candidates are given Iowans' blessings, and that can carry them well into this race. The most important one, as you say, I think of all of these 3, is Marco Rubio. He's young, he's very smart, he communicates well with people, and he's a moderate, he's an establishment candidate. Now, the problem he had been facing is that there are 3 other establishment candidates, Jeb Bush, John Kasich, and Chris Christie. And between all of them, they were splitting the vote. But now, I think the establishment will see him potentially as their guy. There's much more of a chance of that. That means that voters may take a greater interest in him going into New Hampshire, going into South Carolina, and certainly donors who are looking for a horse to put money on, who are looking to invest in this race, will really take a much more serious look at him.
Well, how indicative is Iowa of the decisions that the rest of America is taking in the coming months?
Iowa is not typical, it's true, but it is the first chance. It really gives you an insight into how voters, how they feel about candidates, which I know is a strange thing to say, but it really is. You know, Trump played so big in these kind of big rallies, but the fact that at the end of the day, the supporters who went to those kind of mega events didn't want to go, or enough of them didn't go to caucus for him. It tells you something about a disconnect in his campaign. Hillary Clinton, again, the fact that she worked so hard here in Iowa, you know, where she lost desperately in 2008 to Barack Obama, she'd invested a lot into doing very well here. And again, she slightly kind of failed to land her punch. So I think that in a way, that is the lesson of Iowa, that really even the best funded campaigns, the biggest candidates, the biggest characters aren't necessarily going to be the ones who will succeed in this election cycle.
Kylie in Des Moines, you'll be watching like a hawk. Thanks very much for joining us.